Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. Now this beautiful thing is an M12. That's the Tier 7 American SPG. And we're located on the north spawn of Tundra. And this particular M12 is being commanded by FendaBenda. Yes, you've seen his replays before, and I think we're going to enjoy this one as well. We can see that he's got a mark of excellence on his barrel. So he's played the M12 quite a lot. Whoa! Fast moving type going through it. Now they didn't build many of these M12s. They built 60 in 1942 and another 40 in 1943, and FendaBenda's taken up his firing position. And it's a rather central one, so to speak, but not in the normal positions in the bushes at the back. And he's got a heavy number 6 there, and he tags him. He doesn't get a direct hit, but he actually tracks him. 92 hit points, and slews him around, stops him his movement. And we can see a box tank has made it into the factory area. There he is. Only a few more seconds to go, and FendaBenda's loaded. He's dialed in nicely, but the round actually hits the ground nearby. I think it's all those buildings are in the way that's the problem. But he did stun the box tank. Oh, a lot of targets on top of the hill. Now this is another reason why it's a good idea to be on the west side of the map on Tundra when you're on north spawn, because then you can fire on the hill and put shells into those enemies. And he gets a splash on that Striv 74. It's a near miss, but it was 251 hit points, so useful. And he's still working off the stun as well. Okay, unfortunately the enemy's made it almost off the hill now. In fact, they're surging around now, and that type is going to try and get out of there, but I don't think he will. He's been tracked. And, oh, he's undone his track, but, yep, he's been killed. Too many heavy tanks, or too many mediums coming down from the hills simultaneously for that type to get out of there. Okay, that AMX M445 is going to be the next target, I think. Almost loaded. Get it lined up for a lead shot, round out. Just in front of him. It was just in front of him. He did stun him, so he picked up some stun assists. But that Striv's going up the hill now on the other side. There's no defenders up that side, so that's okay, because at least there's nobody up there for him to kill. Meanwhile, that ONI went deep into the enemy territory. Unfortunately, was taken out by the T-34 2G. And we've got a heavy tank trying to make his way into the cap. And that's the same heavy tank he hit earlier. And he's hit him again for 215 this time. And it was a direct hit. Okay, waiting for the reload to go through. Now, I think that AMX M445 is going to try and come up this way. So it might be a good idea for... yes, FendaBenda is going to move. I was just about thinking, actually, you know, maybe he needs to get a little further over to the west, because those enemy are getting fairly close, and if they get too close, obviously they might see him. And also he's got the worry now of the bump that's in between. There's got a few mounds that are actually obstructing his field of fire. As you can see, that type is actually having a go against two enemy tanks, a type and an AMX M445, and he didn't survive very long. But that type didn't survive very long either, and it's a beautiful shot there from FendaBenda on a fast-moving light tank. Takes him out the game. But as you can see, those mounds, those rocks are actually in the way, so he's going to have to pull back a little so he can fire over the top of them. Oh no, he's decided that he actually has to go shotgun, because that enemy type is actually getting way too close. Now he's actually effectively converted his mode now. He's actually shotgun mode. He's effectively now a TD with a very large caliber gun, because the enemy is too close to fire conventionally. Or is he going to go to that AMX? No, he can't hit the AMX because he's still down in the dip. But he can hit that IS towards the south. Oh, he's just taken out the Tiger P. Or is it the T-34-2G? And he splashed that IS. 178 hit points. That was a good splash. The M12 has a 155mm howitzer. It's a French design from First World War. It was a very successful design, a useful design. And in fact, actually, the particular gun that they used was then later used on the M40. But that T-34-2G is now at the other end of the railway line, and he's looking directly at FendaBenda. And that round was fired a little too hastily because it's just gone into the rock face. I think he's a bit nervous that T-34-2G is going to come this direction. The enemy Type 64 was taken out, so he's got no threat from that. And the Striv's gone back up onto the hill. And he can hit him from here, splash him to death. Round out. Good strike! Right on top of him. There's no doubt about that at all. He actually hit him and took him out the game. That's his second kill so far. The Type 64 was the other one, the Striv 74 the second. Now, where's that T-34-2G? That player's already got 3 kills. Oh, there he is. He actually went round. Sneaky. He decided to miss the bridge out. And that's a direct hit there. 311 hit points, right on the money. And it looks like the T-34 used his first aid kit to get rid of the stun straight away so he could retreat. And the enemy IS is now taking up position next to the bridge road. Or the railway, not bridge road, it's a railway line. Okay, it's loaded, firing a round in just in case the IS is still there. If he is still there, that would have splashed him. Right, that SU-100 is guarding the western approach. The other SU-100 is guarding the bridge, and the Type 64 is going into the back area. Right, there's the T-34-2G again. He just poked around the corner, and he saw that the SU-100 was there. Probably proximity alerted him, detected that SU-100. But there's no Arty on the enemy team, so they can't get rid of him that way. And the Type's going round the back, so he should be able to shoot into that IS. And I suspect he did actually get hit by that Arty round that FendaBenda fired, because he's still sitting next to the gap. Round out. Well, that one went right in. It splashed the ground behind him, but still did a lot of damage. And of course he was stunned, so FendaBenda's picking up stun assist, and the IS has been taken out by the Type. Oh, but we lost one of the SU-100s. Again, that T-34-2G, that's his 4th kill. Okay, well, they've got the numerical advantage. Now, there's only that T-34-2G left. And FendaBenda's going to go and see if he can shotgun him directly, because he's sitting in the dip there, and there's no way that he can get round. No way he can get a shell into that dip. But I think the 2G is going to try and make his way up onto the cap. By one of the other routes. I wonder, is FendaBenda going to poke his head over the top and shoot him, or is he going to go down? I think he's going to go down, isn't he? He's going down one of the ramps into the dip. It's going to turn and face the 2G. This is dangerous. Can't see him. There he is. He's behind you. He's behind you. Oh, been hit. There he is. Oh, and the SU-100 comes in to rescue. Now, he can end this game now by firing, and he does! He actually splashes him from the other side, avoiding the SU-100, takes the T-34-2G out of the game, and wins without killing his teammate. That was an excellent shot, and a very good choice indeed. I think most players would have held fire and not shot and waited for the SU-100 to kill them, but that may have been a mistake, because there's always a chance the T-34-2G would have shot at FendaBenda instead of the SU-100 to get FendaBenda out of the game, and then shot at the SU-100 afterwards. He was, after all, quite a good player. And we can see from the end of battle report, last screen, that he actually, according to this, had a win rate of 3401. Now, I think that probably was higher, but unfortunately, Wargaming, the What Replays site, doesn't actually show the win rate, whereas the Salty Jedi record site does. So we can see that FendaBenda managed to get a first-class tanker in the M12. He also picked up a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits, crew incapacitations or module damage. He got 15 in total. And lastly, he got a Confederate. He hit more of the enemy than anyone else in his team. At least 6 tanks subsequently wiped out by other members, and we can see them there. If we look at the team scores, well, he came top on damage on his own team. In fact, of both teams, 2,172 hit points altogether. He came highest on his own team with the KV-2 with 3 kills. And the T-34-2G managed to get 4, so that was good for him. He actually, FendaBenda managed to get base XP of 1,068, highest on his team again. And I think, yes, it was just over, just under twice what the T-34-2G managed to get. If we look at detail report, FendaBenda fired 15 rounds, got 4 direct hits, 4 penetration and 10 splash. He did damage of 2,172 hit points, of which 2,144 were at more than 300 meters. He did receive 1 hit, and it was a non-penetration because it went into the tracks. And that was from the T-34-2G, because he went around that corner and he wasn't certain where that T-34-2G was. And I would advise, if you are going to do that and go down into that sort of thing, and if you don't see the enemy straight away where you thought he was, he's probably changed position, moved, and you need to be very, very cautious indeed. But it did work out okay in the end. He managed to damage 9 of the enemy, that's 3/5 of the enemy team, and killed 1/5 of the enemy team, 3 of them. He did stun assistance damage of 1,135 hit points off 11 stuns. On a standard account, he earned 27,719 credits, and after ammunition resupply and consumables, he had 7,919 left. He received 1,068 base XP, and that's all there was because there was no multipliers. But it was tense at the end, as you said in the title, Tense on Tundra. Yes, it was very tense at the end, because when you went round that corner and there was nobody there, I was thinking, oh no, he's behind you. It's the old pantomime act where you think, oh no, I've made a wrong decision. He's behind me, isn't he? Yep. And luckily it worked out okay. And in fact, actually, it was a brilliant choice to shoot the ground near the enemy because it splashed him to death, and that worked out well in the end. So well done, FendaBenda. Thanks for submitting the replay. If you enjoyed this replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel. And hopefully it'll be your replay that I'll be featuring in our next video.